Well, a very good Friday afternoon to you all from Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. This is World Racing League 2025 National Championship season finale. The U.S. Endurance Championship returns to the capital deep in the heart of Texas as we wrap up the 2025 championship season and award the final trophies of the year as part of the National Championship event. My name is Brendan Kazmarek. And together with Jordan Worth, who is on production duties this afternoon, we will be guiding you through this afternoon's qualifying sessions. Remember, this is our first year with standalone qualifying in the World Racing League. It's been live all season long, and we'll do the Grand Touring cars first, GTO and GTU. Take up the head of the field, and we'll take a short break for an HPDE session, as is the case always on Fridays, and then wrap it up with GP1 and GP2 qualifying. Good heavens. A little bit later on this afternoon, right around 2:20 Eastern Central Time, since we are here in Austin. And that will set the grid for what should be a 76-car field around the only permanent Formula One venue in the United States these days, here at Circuit of the Americas. Cars on their outlaps now. You see the timer in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, ticking down for this 30-minute qualifying session. Cars on their way around to turns 19 and 20 to begin their first flying laps of the session. Plenty of cars across this first session. Like we just said, 77 total as the round three Porsches, plural, begin their lap here. Showing 29 cars have tripped timing up at pit out thus far. We're looking for a little bit of fresh room. There goes the round three Trimtex Porsche, red, white, and blue for the final time in the World Racing League, at least under the round three banner. 71 in tow. Remember, these two cars were entered at the end of last season back here at COTA as they fought for the national championship with NFC Motorsports. Not so much intrigue at the top of the GTO National Championship this weekend, but man, these cars are really quick, equally prepared as they work their way through the new camera angle for us here down at exit of turn 6. There goes Lupe Tortilla in the number 188, that BMW M4 GT4, working up through the end of the S. It's another new camera angle up here at the exit of turn number 9 on a crossover bridge. Cars going directly underneath, accelerating up through third, fourth gear towards the hairpin at turn number 11. There's Stoic Racing in the number 87, flirting with a little bit of track limits there at the exit of turn number 9, already pushing hard. Fairly rapid fire session. 30 minutes sounds like a long time, but as we found out across most of this 2025 season, a lot of what we see is a cycling through of drivers, maybe a fresh set of tires for the second half of the session. And with a lap as long as we've got here at COTA, upwards of 2 minutes 15 up towards 2 minutes 20 seconds for the very fastest cars. Doesn't take much to lose the lap, whether to track limits or something else, maybe held up in a bit of traffic, and then you've got to reset, reconfigure yourself, do it all again. Hopping on board with, is this the AE Victory? Number 119, and no, this is Random Vandals, number 82. A car I hadn't recognized because it is running in a brand new livery this weekend. I believe it's the same livery that car sported back at VIR. When we were at Sebring, there was a less aware endurance race going on, 6 hours, the Race for Remembrance, up at Virginia International Raceway as part of the Radical World Finals weekend. That car did run, that number 82, in this really nice red and white livery. First time we've seen it in that trim here in the World Racing League, that F82 M4 GT4. First cars across the line. Round 3 racing number 70 leads round 3 racing number 71. Can you believe it? 2:18.631 is your provisional pole time. It's a half a second margin back to the sister number 71. Stoic Racing in the number 87 jumps into P3. That's the Toyota Supra GT4. Big news out of Toyota Motorsport we'll talk about a little bit later on this weekend, I am sure. Stratus number 60 is your GTU provisional pole sitter. Just 2 Stratus cars running this weekend. More on that to come tomorrow as well. That number 60, a 2:21 flat, is the current provisional pole time in that class. Shouts to Off Leash Motorsports as well. 41 leads 40. That's Porsche from... Ooh, that might be Porsche, actually. I've got to take a look there on that number 40, because I've been doing other things this morning, but I think... Don't know that I've seen the Mercedes here. Oh, no, I have seen the Mercedes here this weekend. Absolutely. It's the Porsche ahead of the Mercedes. There you see them together, just as we saw them through most of the early hours at both of the Sebring races about a month ago. That Mercedes leading the way on the Porsche. Porsche eventually found its pace and fought back. That Porsche, if you can figure out how to get that 991.2 Cup reliable, look out. It was really, really quick back at Sebring. And of interest to all of us is just how quick it was, even short on development relative to the round 3 racing 991.2 cars. Actually, might be a 991.1. I need to go confirm that. 70 comes through again. Do they improve the pole time? Yes, they do. 2:18.322. 71 improves down to a low 2:18 as well. Automatic racing in the 908 jumps into the GTU provisional class lead. Provisional pole time anyway there, 2:20.129. Stoic Racing after a spin on the outlap, our friend JT Tammy tells us, who is watching but not commentating. Still sits that 3rd place in GTO. Off-leash 41 improves down to 2:20.964. Facing those round 3 Porsches, at least at the moment. Toyota R&D in the non-GT4 Toyota Supra, that's the number 90, up into P5 overall, P5 in GTO. Man, these discussions are fast and frantic. Look on the left-hand side of your screen. You may see 92 and 91 Wheelhouse Motorsports. Recognize the numbers, but not the team name. That's because FPRS Motorsports has rebranded. Now to follow the Wheelhouse Motorsports moniker. Same team, same experience, same opportunities, same cars, but a new wrap and a new identity. Very, very cool. And really, really nice liveries on those cars as well. 119 AE Victory Racing Toyota Supra, not with us back at Sebring, remember. Follows the number 82 from Random Vandals through turns 9 and 10. They jump on the brakes down to the hairpin at turn number 11. Random Vandals' car will go a little bit wide, and unfortunately, they may just put off the 119 Sup a little bit. Remember, we are setting qualifying times here, so position is not important, but could just cost a 10th or 2 to that 119 Toyota Super GT4. Roberts Motorsports to the pole in GTU, yes, 2:19.393. So after the, I don't think heartbreak is too strong a word here, heartbreak of losing the GTU race at Sebring on the Sunday to a pit lane speeding penalty in the closing minutes on just the last splash of fuel needed to get that car to the end. They pick up right where they left off and put that 109 Sepco NP01 up onto the provisional pole in GTU. Round 3 racing number 1 goes second in GTU. Random Vandals number 98. First time with the NP01 this weekend for that Random Vandals squad. Goes up into P3 in GTU. Automatic P4. Absolutely dropping. Stratus Racing 58 and 60. Stratus number 60 all the way back 5 in that lightweight Grand Touring class. A quick rundown here. I've got to pull up, of course I do, I've got to pull up the app for Race Monitor so I can sort by what I need to sort by. Class. There we go. So behind the top 5 in GTO, which remember is round 3, off-leash Mercedes, Stoic Supra, and then the Toyota R&D Supra. We get the off-leash Motorsports number 41 Porsche, the AE Victory Racing number 119 Toyota Supra GT4 in 7th, Kingpin Racing number 77. That's the Rob Walker Racing Cargo Shorts Racing entry in P8. The number 163 of Random Vandals, that should be the BMW G82 M4 in P9, and then the GTR 99 BMW M4 in P10. That car comes across the line. They improve. Nope. Oh, you know what? They were just into the pits, maybe for a driver change in that GTR 99 M4. Fast Track Racing number 188. That's the Lupe Tortilla sponsored car. Judson Holt. Usually, I know Dave Ogburn is here. I think Denny Stripling's here as well. I haven't had a look at the driver's list just yet. More to come on the driver ID front this weekend, by the way. I think data is robust enough. We should be able to tell you who's in what car when throughout the balance of the weekend, which is we've been working towards for a long time together with our partners at the World Racing League and, of course, Flagtronics. A couple of your cars in the top 5 here working their way through turns 14 and 15. Rounded the Triple Apex right-hander at 16, 17, 18. Then rejoin our vision here at the bottom of the hill towards the final 2 left-handers, Mercedes, Rapscallion number 669, and then the other off-leash entry, that Porsche ducks into the pit lane. The Mercedes is going to carry on. Does the 40 improve? No, they don't. 221.1 last time around. Quick look at the lap times for that number 40. I didn't tell Jordan this was coming, so yeah. Quickest lap there on lap number 3, the 220.245 is the car at the time that car stands on at the moment. So a couple of laps maybe to get the tires up to temperature on that Mercedes. Put the lap in. Plenty of clear air there, but the car protests a little bit through turn 5 and into turn 6. I guess it's all turn 6 there. Double apex right-hander. We're climbing the hill here, and I can't clear the lower third. I just have to wait for it to time out. This appears behind its own graphic. Imagine that. Climb up over the hill. Out of turn 9 underneath the bridge. The recent improvement is the Stratus Racing number 58, 220.507. Automatic 908 comes through and improves, 220.609. All happening about 1.2, 1.3 seconds off of the... I hope this time's out. I was told it would. Interesting. Anyway, we may be stuck with this. I did some testing earlier on. Joseph and I did some testing. It hasn't quite worked out. If I hide and then show again. Oh, no. No. Well, we're going to work on this. Maybe we can pick a different car at the very least. Let's take a look at the lap times for the Stratus number 58. Yeah, 220.507. So some slower laps to get into it, but then finally drops the hammer with that 2 minutes 20. Remember, those GTU cars do take a little bit longer to get their tires up to temperature, and this is the coldest it'll be all weekend. About 54 degrees and cloudy on this Friday afternoon. Headed towards 73, 74 tomorrow, so we reach the halfway point of the session. So no point in setting the car up today. There we go. No point in setting the car up today to try and build that temperature quickly. We need it for the long runs tomorrow and Sunday, of course. We hit the halfway session in in qualifying number 1. Number 10 is into the pits. It's a round 3 racing NPO1. Right-hand door open on that NPO1. Intriguing. Didn't we see door problems at Sebring for like half the NPO1 field? Maybe I'm misremembering there. JT will be able to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure at least Heraflight and maybe one of the round 3 cars had terrible door problems. That ultimately resulted in that Heraflight number 247 having to replace a door. Yeah, three NPO1s had door issues. Thank you, JT. Thought that was the case. Anyway, we press on. Here is the beautiful flat 6 with the highest pitch possible exhaust note. That number 41 comes through again up towards turn number 1, where it will begin another flying lap, having just done its initial sort of offering in this session. You may notice, by the way, if you're looking out there in the distance, change to the scenery up there at turn number 1. A beautiful photography gantry that stood for the last 7 or 8 years here is gone. They're building a new clubhouse up there at the top of the hill. And boy, is it just a muddy mess up there. So I've had to move the camera, and unfortunately it does mean cars disappear a bit behind the hill. But never mind that, because relocated this camera directly above the racetrack. First time, I think we can honestly say that. It goes around, or the round 3 Porsche. Did it. The off-leash Porsche. Mercedes from the same spot ducks into the pits. Charlie Hayes. Oh, no, wait. Charlie Hayes Racing, anyway. They are pitted directly below me here at start finish, but I had the sorting wrong on Red Mist. Good to see CHR here regardless. Top 3 in GTU, Roberts Motorsports, Team Heraflight, round 3 racing, and then Random Vandals. They just got displaced there. So no Stratus NPO1s in the top 5 in GTU at the moment. With 4th place being that Random Vandals 98, Automatic Racing in the 909. That's 5 teams in the top 5 in GTU. It's tremendous stuff. The number 59, for what it's worth, I said we were going to mention this a little bit later on. Number 59 Stratus NPO1 not entered this weekend. It's also, I think, a different car than what we saw at Sebring. It's not the gold trim anymore. It's now red, which isn't something that we've seen this season. It's also running what I have to assume is the 2.5-liter turbo engine. Or I think it's a Ford EcoBoost engine. Anyway, was out running yesterday, setting lap times, and today, actually, this morning in the HPDEs, setting lap times in the 210s, 211s. That car is making some serious power. And a good 10 seconds quicker than the trim it runs in 9-to-1 power to weight here in the World Racing League. Very cool kind of booming engine note out of that car. Obviously not quite ready to get down to that 9-to-1 number 4 WRL competition, but anyway, a really cool demo of what that car is capable of. There are the wheelhouse cars. Numbers 40 and 41 head up out of turn number 9, go underneath the walkover bridge at turn 10, sandwiching the GTR 99 BMW, a pair of Ford Mustang GT4s. Big news from Ford and the World Racing League as the 91 goes deep on the brakes at turn 11. Anyway, Ford officially a contingency partner of the World Racing League next season. Can be eligible for contingency payouts if you run a Ford motor vehicle in the World Racing League in 2026. I think I'm right in saying it's our first proper contingency partner in the World Racing League. RJ Till is probably better to verify that than I am. It's still a very cool program that, much like I think companies like Mazda have been famous for over the years. Support the teams and the drivers that get your brand out there and prove that the car is worth racing. Competitive car is worth racing. And Certainly Ford has been on a march to do that over the last 2 to 3 years, and involving themselves as they are now in the World Racing League as a contingency partner is another great way, an important way of supporting grassroots motorsport. Just there holding up the automatic racing number 908. The left-hander at turn 20. '92 is into the pit lane. 91 is not. 91 car has already done a stop there. Lap number 3, quick in and out. Still riding on that 221.731 from earlier in the session. Right now those cars sit 28th, 29th on the overall high line there down the left-hand side. Car number 92, meanwhile, not quite down to that same number. Stuck in the 226s there. Those cars sound great. They're awfully quick down the straightaway, but maybe fighting a bit in these cooler temperatures around some of these longer corners. Really do have to be fully committed through the S's, which, with this new camera angle, the car's pointed directly into the camera, back, left to right, to left to right. Able to string those corners together. And if you haven't got the rhythm right from quite literally your turn-in point at turn 3, you're kind of out to lunch for the rest of that whole sequence. Aeroflight 247 goes round the outside of Random Vandals at turn number 6. At a certain point here, these sessions do kind of become practice sessions more than qualifying sessions. No point in giving up the lap as such if you end up, in a bit of traffic. 47 does there, trying to get around the off-leash Ligier. It's left a bit down the straightaway, but back up the inside on the brakes at turn number 11. Moved on. Ligier will probably go past again down the back straightaway here. Not necessarily a bad thing. Creates a bit of a tow for that NP01 perhaps. Quick reset of your class positions here. Let's start with GTU, where there is a change. Aeroflight for 247, 219.238 did reset the provisional GTU pole position time. Roberts Motorsports in the 109. Shane Roberts behind the wheel still sits in second. Hasn't been able to improve on that 219.393. Got close to the 19.6 a bit earlier on. Let's see if maybe there's something left in that NP01. Stratus number 60 up into third now. So finally, that Stratus car is able to break into the top 5. 219.697 is the provisional time for that car. Round 3 racing number 1 from Random Vandals number 98. Both in the low 2 minutes 20s. Automatic 909 in P6. Stratus 58 P7. Automatic 908 in 8th place, and then rounding out the field, at least for the time being, is the round 3 racing number 10, 221.538. So just over 2 seconds separating the entirety of the GTU field, with 5 minutes remaining on the clock. A bit inconsistent here with clearing out these lower thirds. I'll speak to somebody about that. Round 3 racing number 70 still sits on the GTO provisional pole and the overall provisional pole. 218.322. Round 3 racing number 71. 218.679. So comparable lap times for those two cars up on the front row provisionally again in GTO before they are, well, they're attempting to be sold. They are up for sale now. If you're interested in WRL spec 991.2 Cup, maybe your opportunity there. Off-leash Motorsports number 40 sits in third. Stoic Racing number 87, P4, ahead of the Toyota R&D Racing Toyota Supra. That is the first Supra and the, of course, not GT4 Supra, built from the ground up something like 6 years ago. I think we saw that car here back in 2020. Make its debut at Circuit of the Americas in the U.S. Endurance Championship. Off-leash Motorsports number 41, that Porsche's relegated back to P6. as it stands. AE Victory Racing number 119 in P7, Kingpin Racing number 77 in P8. DriverSeye also listed on board that car. So get those lap times up. Number 77, yeah, set the time early. That 2:18.5 did not stand, obviously. Otherwise, it'd be up in P2 on lap 3. But best time for that car is a 2:21.741. So it was actually set quite early. Would have been right out of the basically, and then settling into something more of a race there in the 2:22s, give or take a few tenths. Random Vandals number 163, P9, GTR 99 rounds out the top 10 in GTO. Remember, back to last year, GTR 99 having something of a torrid weekend. Hit on the Saturday in some pretty miserable conditions. Heavy rain, somebody misjudged a braking point, and once they got offline, pretty much a passenger right into the left front corner of that GTR number 99. I think Sunday went much better for them. My memory. It's been a scaled back program from GTR this 2025 World Racing League season, but great to have them back this weekend. And a starting place at P10 usually means a podium. If you're GTR 99, I realize that the competition at the top is pretty substantial, but they just always have the way, don't they? P11 at the moment, Fast Track Racing number 188. That's the Lupe Tortilla entry. Charlie Hayes Racing the 191 CHR, as it is on timing there in P12. ACP Tangerine all the way back in P13, just ahead of the Random Vandals Racing number 82. What the strategy is there with that number 2? Whether they've sent out any of their shoes to go put in the times. They had the win on Sunday back at Sebring. There are technical issues for the round 3 racing number 70. Way back there in P13 at the moment. Random Vandals number 82, they're 14th as we said, and then ACP Tangerine number 410. Not a car number we see from them very often. Rounds out the top 15. Wheelhouse Motorsports number 91 does improve, by the way, up to 223.307. Has that car in P16 at the moment, ahead of the TCB Racing 246. Remember, that's out of the same stables as Stoic Racing number 87, at least prepared by the same outfit. One car up in the top 5, one car down towards the bottom 5, at least at the moment in GTO. Have not seen, by the way, the LML Racing. We did see it come out for a lap, apparently. LML Racing number 78, that Pontiac GTOR. I did see that car down in the paddock being worked on earlier today. It's not featured very much, at least to this point. Kicking down towards the final 60 seconds. Remember, qualifying times that start prior to the checkered flag will count. You are able to finish the lap. Difficult to see at this stage any major improvements being made. Random Vandals 82 does improve into P9 over P9 and GTO, excuse me, 221.761. Just able to shave a couple of tenths here and there off of their initial offerings. There goes LML. Bit of a, sounds like maybe a misfire down the front straightaway. Makes some sense. Seems to be at speed though, headed up the hill towards Big Red, turn number 1. And lap time there, 2:24.880. Misha Goikberg listed as the driver on that car. That maybe hasn't updated. Checkered flag is out. First to see it is the number 410 from ACP Tangerine. Car does not improve on its final lap. Yeah, 2:24.089 is going to be the final effort out of that M4 GT4. 77 comes through. Kingpin Racing does not improve. Improvements in GTU. No, I think it's going to be Heraflight on that 219.2 effort. Next up would have been Roberts Motorsports. Shane Roberts in that 109 comes through the pit lane, so that'll be it out of the maroon NP01. So same story for the number 909. I think at this late stage of the session, 30 minutes in, tires are at their best on lap 2 or 3, maybe on those NP01s. Oh, Haraflight comes through and improves just for kicks, 218.682. So a margin that was about a tenth and a half of a second between your NP01 first and second place cars. It now balloons all the way out to about 7/10 of a second. Round 3 racing number 10 into the pit lane. They are going to end up shotgun on the NP01 field tomorrow morning when we drop the green flag to 21.538 will be the lap time for that car. I think that is just about going to do it with GTO and GTU qualifying. Last couple of cars to see the checkered here. LML Racing, give it one last go in that Pontiac GTOR. 224.8 does not improve. 225.2 on the second time of asking. Rapscallion 669 did improve, though. 224 flat for that Ligier JS-P2. I'm sorry, JS2R. I did it again. Well then, I think we've seen, all cars have seen the checkered. Yep, 410 is back into the pit lane. So we'll do a quick rundown here. We've already done a fair amount of that. As we said, round 3 racing, first and second on the list in GTO, off-leash in P3, Stoic number 87 in 4th, Toyota R&D rounding out the top 5 there, off-leash AE Victory, Kingpin, and the pair of random Vandals BMWs down to P10. Your GTU top 9 on the screen there as well. Haraflight from Robert Stratus 60, round 3 automatic random Vandals. 6 teams in the top 6 in GTU. Pretty tremendous stuff. This overall standings here, be interesting to see what they decide to do tomorrow morning and who starts where. Cooler temperatures, my guess is they'll put the GTO cars out in front, but we'll wait for that to come around tomorrow morning. Scroll through the running order in our Grand Touring categories on Friday qualifying here at the U.S. Endurance Championship at Circuit of the Americas. Halfway there. Got an HPDE session to come. That will be 35 minutes on the clock. That kicks off at 1:40 Central Time. Take a break, come back, and at 2:20 we'll do the final 30 minutes of qualifying, wrap up our Friday coverage here from Austin, Texas, and Circuit of the Americas. Set the grid for Saturday's 8-hour enduro. Reminder, of course, we're back at 2:20 Central Time, 8 a.m. both days, 8 a.m. Central Time both days for our live race coverage. If you're going to step away for a while and you're not sure you're going to make it back, make sure you rejoin us tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning and Sunday morning. First thing, 8 a.m., 8 hours Saturday, 7 hours Sunday. I am Brendan Kazmarek. I'll step aside here for the next 45 minutes or so, along with Jordan Worth. We'll be back with you at 2:20. In the meantime, enjoy the sights and sounds. Trackside at Circuit of the Americas. And we'll see you here in just about 45 minutes for more qualifying action from the U.S. Endurance Championship weekend. Welcome back to Circuit of the Americas, the 2025 National Championship event, the World Racing League U.S. Enduro Championship, set for its final qualifying session of the weekend. They're not increasingly cloudy, because it's been pretty much like this all day. We did get a few pokes of sunshine there in the early part of the afternoon, but gray again, a little chilly, a lot of beanies down there in the paddock. But warmer out on track, fortunately, behind the wheel, as we throw the green flag on the general production qualifying. 2 minutes gone on the outlap already, and our GP1, GP2 fields head out, making up the majority of this weekend's entry in totality. 4 cars on their way out as well. We love a healthy production grid. Yep. This is where we're headed on board the HK Motorsports number 221 on their outlap. Remember, these are all Continental tires on these GP1 and GP2 cars, single supplier. In the World Racing League, green flag waves here at start finish after the outlaps are done. The HQ Autosports number 189. That's going to kick us off here in a line of 3 cars to include one of the open throttle BMWs and a car I didn't pick up here. Head up the hill towards Big Red. Sorry for the construction noises in the background. Now the excavator's done for the day, I'm told. All right, cool. And we did all right. Where most of our interest is going to be this weekend, I think, down in the production classes. Including that Boss 302R there, headed down the hill towards turn number 2. New entry for us. That's the Riser Harness Ford entry. We've seen them in the World Racing League before. But they're unmistakable, I can tell you, this weekend. Loud, noisy, but very cool. Very, very cool looking car, well prepared, and obviously I think ready to go for a pretty epic GP1 scrap this weekend. Bruce Innovations 333, I think just staying out of the way there. That car was fresh out of the pit lane and unfortunately joined right with the cars that were on their outlap initially. Looks out of the way of one of the BRZs here. I think that's the Garage 66, number 214, but don't quote me on that. Still wrapping my head around who everybody is. Passed my mind back to the very first time we were here at Circuit of the Americas with WRL way back in 2017, the U.S. Endurance Championship. A very different looking field, obviously, but it took us quite literally a day and a half to figure out who everybody was. We had never worked with WRL before, plenty of one-off entries with a 90 car maximum. And this weekend in particular always seems to be that. A handful of entries we don't always see. Sometimes they're brand new cars for teams that they didn't run over the course of the year, that are out doing a shakedown for the first time. One of the open throttle cars using all of the racetrack and then some of the very much not the racetrack. Out in the paved area there at the exit of turn number 9. Love that camera. View of part of the racetrack we've never been able to see before because that bridge has always been closed off. All right, back to start finish, where we should get first flying laps for open throttle 64, HQ Autosport 189. They come through in a different order there, so your GP1 provisional pole time is the 64 BMW, 233.197. Palomar sets the initial offering in GP2. It's a 236.4. And as the cars stream across the start-finish line here at the exit of turn number 20, keep your eyes on redmist.racing or Race Monitor as the updates flow in. Now that 233.1 from the 64 looks really good. PC Klein in the number 112. Can they? They're on their outlap. 62 comes through with open throttle, 234.6. So it's open throttle 1 and 2 at least for the moment up in GP1. Ginger Racing number 53 in the BMW 1 Series comes through. The sister car comes through, and the 46. Steven Bukowski behind the wheel sets 236.7. Well, about 3 seconds off of the provisional pole time there. We're going to identify some heavy hitters. GP1. These cars are among them. 44 PC Racing. Still on an outlap. Looks like just beginning its first flying lap with already 6+ minutes gone. Gaggle of traffic headed down into turn number 11. Screaming Goat Racing, the number 29, is a part of that. Pulls off the outside and allows everybody else through. Fifth Gear Motorsports, number 550. All right. 231.585 in the Porsche Cayman to upset all of the BMWs. 221 HK Motorsports came through right around the same time, 232.1. 0.6 of a second is your margin up in the front of GP1. Open Throttle Racing 64 stands in third. Cajun Canuck Racing and the number 999, who we've just seen as part of the WRL for the last couple weekends for the first time, up into fourth. Cajun Canuck, Jordan. Cajun Canuck. You were not with us at Sebring, so actually that makes some sense. Yeah. They did pretty well, actually. Good initial weekend for that gang. GP2 field, meanwhile, it's Palomar Racing, number 83, ahead of North Loop Motorsport, number 21. A little bit further down, we go down to Lagunatic, number 778. Number. They 779? Or they were 779. Let me for a loop here. Anyway. Improvement. Get improvement from Garage 66 there. We did 234.7. Actually, only an improvement because it was our first time. Through start finish. Lagunatic comes through and improves the time, but not the position. Stays third in GP2, 237.290. Rapscallion in the number 644. That's a BMW M2 Club Sport. Up into fifth in GP1. Garage 66 really managing the white balance well. Yeah. Unfortunately, when your windshield is less than half the screen, a little difficult to get the exposure right, but yeah, dashboard looks good. Already 9 minutes gone of 30 that make up the second qualifying session of the afternoon. Should be a little bit less fast-paced than this tomorrow, but not by much. 76 cars on the entry list. A little different when it's wheel-to-wheel versus having to try and follow every car as it crosses the line looking for improvements. Provisional pole sitter comes through to complete lap number 2, improves down to a 231.2. So PC Racing, Randy Mueller is listed as the driver there, was able to drop a 231.7, which got within about a quarter second of the provisional pole time. Now that's out to half a second with the improvement from the 550 Cayman. HK Motorsports improved as well, up into, actually kept in third there, with PC Racing coming through into the 231s. Ginger Racing in the 46s, in the number 46 there into P4, and then Open Throttle Racing improved as well. Number 64 now sits in fifth, ahead of the HQ Autosport number 189. About a turn number 9 under the bridge at turn 10. And NB hanging in there. Leading the pack. He's got some motivation. All but pulling the PC Racing number 44 on the exit of the corner there and headed down the back straightaway. After the second flying laps are complete, take a look at GP2 just here quickly. Garage 66 leads Palomar Racing. 214 leads 83. By 2.6 seconds is the margin there. North Loop number 21 comes through. Does not improve. They're displaced by the Lagunatic Racing number 778. 236.822. So that's up into third for the Lagunatic entry. North Loop drops to fourth. Open Throttle Racing number 68 into fifth. Old Mike Gorman and the gang brought 8 BMWs to COTA this weekend. 8. But the most normal Mike Gorman behavior I've ever heard of. Buka Racing, the number 148, into P6 there, ahead of the HC Autosport, number 455 in 7th. AOA Racing, number 55 into 8th. 35 AOA Racing, it's not a number we've seen this season, into 9th. And then the Open Throttle Racing, number 69, into P10. BSI comes through with an initial offering. And where did they go? I think they've had their time deleted. My assumption is that that's a track limits time there. 2:38.305. It was a good lap, actually, down in GP2. We jump on board the HK Motorsports number 221. Ginger Racing there to the left. Able to back out of it before they get to the apex of turn number 1. Allows HK all the way down to the apex on driver's left. Let's stick on board with this lap with the BMW E46 from HK Motorsports. But up over this little crest of a hill there that I don't think most people recognize is there before you settle into the S's there at turn number 3. Are pitched in left and right once, back in the throttle, modulating it all the way through the left-hander at 5, double apex right-hander at turn number 6. Set yourself up for the second half of this S's sequence. 7, 8, and 9. It's a sharpish left-hander there at the bottom of the hill. Climbing right-hander. Try and straighten that left-hander at turn 9 there out as much as you can. Get it pointed towards the sky up over the rise at turn 10, down the hill, and then the road widens out into one of the better braking opportunities around the Circuit of the Americas here down into turn number 11. Square that corner off and harden the throttle as you head down the back straightaway from 11 into 12. You go up through the gears down this back straightaway, 100 miles an hour, 110. 20, can we get to $130 by the end of the back straightaway here before we jump on the brakes? Just about 134. Send it up the inside of an open throttle BMW. Won't be the last time this weekend, I can assure you. Find the track limits there on the exit, neat and tidy before you head into the arena section, the stadium section here at turn 13. Again, harden the throttle, try and straighten this out as much as you can. Keep it wide on the way into 14. Tricky to spot the apex there in the transition back to 15, and easy to lock the inside front if you're not running ABS. The unweighted tire there. A lot of movement from right to left before you set up for this triple apex right-hander. Almost 4 apeces, really, through 16, 17, and 18. Drivers right for turn 19. Just about clip the sausage curb on the inside, at the track limits on the exit, easy to run wide there. Past the pit entry on your left, the roller coaster on your right, and up through turn number 20. HK Motorsports comes through. Do they improve? For the number 221, did not improve the time, just short, 2:32.211 is the most recent time. It's a 2:32.1 for their initial lap time. Very, very consistent, though, for that number 221. Car will be in contention for sure at the front of GP1 this weekend. All those laps in the 2:32s are really, really good. By comparison, let's look at the number 550 that's on provisional pole. That's the Fifth Gear Motorsports car. Just three laps, 2 of them timed as they come back into the pit lane here. A low 2:31 there before a 2:43, maybe a cool down lap there. Maybe a quick mistake or an off. But it kind of doesn't matter. They're already a full half a second. Sorry, a half a second. That doesn't make any sense, Brendan. They're a half a second clear of the PC Racing number 44 with another 8/10 back to the HQ Autosport number 189. So it's Porsche Cayman at the front of GP1 at the moment, ahead of a host of BMWs in 2nd through 6th before you get back to the GP2 pole sitter, that Garage 66 number 214. Remember that car, it was one of the quickest cars on track for a lot of the Mid-Ohio weekend. On these tighter, twistier, direction change heavy sorts of tracks, that number 214 seems to go really, really well. And for sure, up into, well, it's now 8th overall as far as the general production cars are concerned, but still very, very much at the front of that GP2 field. It's a really good offering for that number 214. We're clear halfway now in our final qualifying session of the 2025 championship season here in the World Racing League. Quick reminder, racing action tomorrow begins at 8 a.m. Central Time. That's an hour earlier than we normally go on a Saturday. A lot of times it's 9 o'clock, occasionally 8:30 if we have some other constraints. But this weekend I think is going to be daylight. And so kicking off an hour earlier on Saturday, 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific. I'm sorry, 9 a.m. Eastern. Thinking of our friend JT Tammy, who's going to be up at 6 in the morning to help us cover tomorrow's action. AOA Racing number 85 comes through and improves. Part of a 4-car entry for AOA Racing this weekend, which does not include a GTO entry, just those GP1 and GP2 fielded cars. 85 dig through this substantial GP1 field to get there. 12 at the moment. Screaming Goat Racing comes through, sets a personal best and the provisional pole time in GP1, 2:30.255. to go about 0.2 of a second clear of the Ginger Racing number 46. So BMW 1 and 2 drops the fifth-gear Motorsports Porsche Cayman down to third. Racing sitting there fourth, and HQ Autosport rounding out the top 5. Some quick pit stops here, maybe a change of driver, let somebody else have a crack at qualifying. Screaming Goat comes through again, 2:30.269. That is 14 thousandths of a second lower than their personal best. So two easy laps out of the pit lane. Thought staying out of the way of just about everybody, trying to find some clear air. It's a valid strategy that's worked out really well for that LS-powered 325i. As you heard me directly, dear viewer. See what's up next here for that Screaming Goat Racing BMW. Been a minute since we've seen them here in the World Racing League. Great to have that orange and white BMW with us. Once again, as they work their way through. No, that's trouble. Because when you put it next to the red paint trackside, it does look awfully red. Anyway. Well, we'll cover that tomorrow. The Bruce Innovations. Oh, I haven't sorted out my Bruce Innovations numbers yet. Is that the 555 235 IR? Yes, I think it is. Down the hill. Towards turn number 11. Jump on board the North Loop Motorsport number 21. E46. Down in GP2. They reset timing there. They did improve their time. 2:35.189 has them 0.06 of a second off the back of the Palomar Racing number 83. So not much needed there to get themselves up onto the front row in GP2. Good lap on lap 4, another good one on lap 6. So I think the time is probably there in the car. There in the tires. Remember these Continental tires. I heard an estimate yesterday that said it was something like a 28-hour tire before it reaches its useful life. Obviously, that varies from track to track and depends on the conditions quite heavily, but more than enough life to do qualifying today and racing tomorrow. So feel free to go use that thing up in qualifying. It's more than enough potential in those tires to run them again tomorrow. Whereas that may not be the case in GTO. For the final sequence of corners here, that orange, white and black BMW in the background out of turn number 20 after this, not quite a train of cars, but a pack of 5 or 6 of them. Fourth loop comes through and does improve into the 234s. 34.859. So still over 2 seconds off the Garage 66, number 214, but was able to find not just 600ths, but something like 0.3 of a second to go clear of that Palomar Racing number 83 and drop the car that sits third. Quick off and on there from one of the open throttle BMWs. The car that sits third in the national overall championship, by the way, that Palomar number 83. So in contention for something special this weekend. Drops him onto the second row of the provisional GP2 grid. Is there more in it for Palomar here? With 8 minutes on the clock, 3 or 4 laps if they want it. PC Racing hits the number 44. Are still up in third in GP1. Actually, that's a new position, 3 in GP1. Fifth Gear Motorsports now drops to 4th. 3 BMWs ahead of that first came in, and there it was. It's 2:29.242. So why hasn't that updated on timing for me? That should be a provisional pole time. That lap time been done for track limits. Don't have the race control log available to me at the moment, so I can't confirm that. Lays Racing comes across the line. Have not mentioned their name yet this afternoon. Find that number 118. Should theoretically suit that E36 reasonably well through at least 2 sectors of the Circuit of the Americas. Back straight may be a little tough for them, but the S's all the way up through turn 9. That stadium section down there, 12 through 15. Really, really good for that lightweight little BMW. P14 overall at the moment. And if I skip back over to Red Mist, does that leave them in class 13th in class, right? Because that interloping Garage 66, number 214. Ginger Racing comes through and takes back the GP1 pole, 2:29.588. First car into the 29s that hasn't had the time to lead it anyway. Has them 3/4 of a second clear of Screaming Goat Racing in the number 29 BMW. Now, does Screaming Goat make another crack at this? They're going to sit on that mid 230. HK comes through, does not improve, 232.1 last time. Page and Canuck improved last time through. It was a 232.171 in the number 999. That's to Herman Cain. Real ones know. Or something. I don't know. The 99. Anyway. It's P7 for Cain and Canuck at this stage of things. Top 10 rounded out by S Collective Racing, number 140. Not to be confused with the S Club, obviously. 7. S Collective. Good time for S Collective Racing, 233.059. So why do these fastest laps not match up with the last laps? Are these all being removed for track limits? Looks like it. Obviously, the stewards downstairs have... This is about the one track we go to where they have vision of substantially more of the track in real time than we do. The race control room downstairs is unlike anything I've seen at any other racetrack. It is an entire wall of actually quite good quality video cameras. Engine cannot pit, so that will probably be a session for that E36. sporting a number of bungee cords, keeping that hood down at the moment. Another newcomer this weekend, Magic developed 37. It's another BMW E36, 1992 vintage. I saw on the entry list 12. Overall, it's P11 and GP1. Magic developed his team. GP1 17th in the GP1 category. Screaming Goat takes back pole again. 2:29.511, 7/100ths of a second, separating first and second. So back and forth we go between the LS powered 325i and the Ginger Racing E46 number 46. Tremendous to have both of these teams back with us this weekend at Circuit of the Americas. Home race, at the very least, for Screaming Goat Racing based down in Houston. Ginger Racing is out from this part of the country as well. Really good stuff delivering at the front of GP1 in our final qualifying session of the year. Sky's going just a little bit orange there in the background as well, really setting the mood for us. With just 2 minutes left on the clock, these cars on screen will get an attempt at one more here if they all want it. Many others just beginning their final attempts here on qualifying. Number 189 HQ Autosport is going to call it a day. They duck into the pit lane here in front of me at start-finish. 418 comes through. That's the Hyundai Veloster out of Ontario, Fawn Group Motorsports. One more go at this. Last lap was a 4:26.2, so probably an outlap. Screaming Goat's going to say enough is enough here. I'm going to sit on that 2:29.511, duck into the pit lane, and challenge Ginger Racing to come get him, but Ginger Racing is already into the pits, so that is going to do it at the front of GP1. Unless HK Motorsports in the 221 can do something special, I think that's going to be it. GP2, it's still that Garage 66 number 214, 232.564 is the pole time there, 2.5 seconds clear of North Loop. And the number 21, Lagunatic, comes through and improves the time down to a 2:35.287, but does not improve the position. Stays fourth outside of the second row in P2. That 2:35.7 looks like it was deleted. 2:35.2, so it actually just hasn't updated there. It was lap number 10 that they set at 2:35.287. Yeah, let's see if I can crush that. Learning this system for the first time. Nope, just not quite there yet. It's okay. We have more features to come tomorrow on this front. Checkered flag waves at start-finish. 65 open throttle comes through, 112. Any improvements there? TC Klein Racing does not improve in the 235i. 65 is Captain America down in GP2. Find the 65. Where is the 65? It's not the 65. Okay. Well, always got to learn some new numbers. Palomar 83 comes through. Is there an improvement to be had there for the GP2 entry out of San Diego? Goodness, don't fail me now. No improvement. 2:36.047 is the final offering. Palomar Racing. Remember the 38, by the way, didn't finish the weekend at Sebring after a mechanical issue, and they were unconvinced that that car was going to be ready in time for Circuit of the Americas. does appear to be the case. And so it's just that single Palomar number 83 down in GP2. Part of the reason we're a little thinner this weekend than we otherwise might be. A long, frantic season here, especially this crash to Circuit of the Americas. We've been racing every 3 to 4 weeks since the end of September, way back at Utah. Then it was 3 weeks from there to Watkins Glen, 3 weeks from there to Sebring, and then 4 weeks with a holiday in between. Down to Circuit of the Americas to wrap up the season. No improvement this time from North Loop Motorsport, the number 21, so they will stay second place in GP2. We're going to wrap up our Friday coverage here from Circuit of the Americas. U.S. Endurance Championship weekend. Be a whole big to-do here. It is now the National Championship event, of course, the National Championship finale for the World Racing League. Still a big to-do, 76 cars. At the end of it all, we crown our national champions. That begins at 8 a.m. Central Time, 6 a.m. Pacific. Thank you, Jordan, not allowing me to get in the way of myself. 9 a.m. Eastern Time. As far as our qualifying results go, in the general production classes, Screaming Goat Racing, just over a tenth of a second back to Ginger Racing, number 46. PC Racing, 44 into third there, excuse me. Fifth Gear Motorsports into P4 outside of the second row. It'll scroll through the rest of the GP2 standings here before we take a look at the overall. GP1 will obviously start ahead of GP2, even though they've got that Garage 66 interloper. P9. Good showing for S Collective Racing there, and that number 40 up into 9th place. There is the number 65. What? Have a chat with Mike. And there it is. Did finally set a time, 2:54.533, way at the back. All right. Anyway, 39 cars strong in our general production classes to go with the 30 plus we had in the Grand Touring qualifying session earlier this afternoon. 4 classes of cars to begin to settle our Friday afternoon here from Circuit of the Americas. Line them up all again on the front straightaway tomorrow morning, just past sunrise. Go racing at 8 o'clock. We'll be on here live at DriversEye Live just about 10 minutes prior to that. Break down all the action, follow it all from trackside, from onboard. Ryan West is going to be here on site, believe it or not, that I don't have to do quite so many interviews. Divvy it up a little bit and really celebrate the end of what has been a tremendous season of racing in the World Racing League. 2025. So right back here on the WRL YouTube channel, join myself, Brendan Kazmarek, join Ryan West and JT Tammy, Jordan Worth on production for all of the endurance racing action, 15 hours worth from Circuit of the Americas. Until sunrise tomorrow morning, we'll bid you adieu from Austin, Texas, and see you all bright and early to go racing. Till then, take care.